I started in this industry when I was like 6 or 7. So like my first job was a show on Nickelodeon when I was younger. I think when I entered into my 20s and realizing who I am and who I identify as, it just like finding myself and then also having to continue my career, it was just a very natural thing, you know, for me. Because I was like, oh, it's just like another thing, let's continue. Like we know who we are now, so we'll just continue going out. I started as an actor. I was really hitting that off, trying to become an actor, and we all know like acting, it's a very like cold call, like you've got to look and be and this and that. So I was doing that thing, and then I became a dancer. So when I was a dancer, that was really like my queer Olympics. Like I was like doing the thing. I came out and I was doing it. Like so I was like jigging school, missing school so that I could go perform like at the Opera House. I think my career as a dancer really set the tone to be a rapper, because I honestly, I didn't give a fuck. Their views are still restricted into societal norms, and I don't fit into their little box. And I'm like, babe, I don't want to fit in your fucking box, you know? I want to do my own thing. So while these people are like consistently judging and all of that's still so present now, I'm good because I have really solid support, you know?
That's so good. Yeah. So what was your family like? Tell me about like the whole coming out thing and how that happened with your family.
It's not a big story actually, because it was very much like my family just said to me, I'm glad you finally admitted it, babe. I was in high school at the time, early years, I think I was like in year 8 or something. When I came out, it was just, I was out. Like I was really out. I was wearing like wigs like the day after.
So
I was like, I'm here, boom, this is me. Yeah. And at that same time, I was like in a dance crew that was around all other queer people of color from the West. So we're all from like marginalized minorities and really understood each other. So having people within an arm reach away that understood me and like looked like me and heard, like sounded like me, that made it a lot easier, you know, because I had like solid support from my friends, and then my family had it as well, you know.
So I think like a message, I guess, then to like younger people would be, find your people.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people think that they're alone in this life, but that they forget that, you know, our template of this life is actually copy and pasted at least 100 times in your same city. So you're gonna find people with the same traumas that you've been through and all of these other things, you'll find them. You just have to put yourself out there. If you see someone a little spicy, say kia ora, say hi, you know, be like, I'm like you, babe.
Okay, so tell me about, how'd you get into rap? Like, how did that happen?
I've been obsessed with rap for so long. Like music was the core of my life, you know. I have 5 older brothers that was blasting Tupac and Biggie constantly in my household. So I was really like taking my little inspirations from everything, still rapping Tupac with them, but like, you know, doing my own little thing. When I put out like my first rap song, I didn't realize that it was going to be received so well. I actually put it out just to have a lot of fun and not to think too much on it, but then it got picked up really, really quickly, and I was touring Australia, and I had like no songs. I just had one song, literally, and like usually artists, now I know that you have songs and you have so much in the backlog.
In the back, yeah.
But at that time, I just had that one song. And people were booking me and they're like, do a half-an-hour set, and I'm like in Hobart trying to do half an hour, and I've got a 2-minute song. So I would like be in the studio, I repeat, and I would make like I'd be in the studio and make a whole like half-an-hour set just for that, you know? Yeah.
So how do you think people perceive you?
I think, well, I know in my community, a lot of people perceive me as like the loving auntie. You know, I'm very giving, and I know I'm to kill people with kindness and spread some love and all of that. But I also know that if a lot of people who don't know me see me online, they think I'm a bitch.
Really?
Of course.
Why?
I think just people have a perception of who you're trying, or who your persona is, right?
Yeah.
My persona is a very fierce, hard-going bitch, you know? But me as a person, I'm very quite chill and calm. So finding the median in between, I think people get very confused. There's still like a lot of lineage between the two sides of me, but I definitely, when I finish a gig or something, I take that responsibility jacket off and I'm like, get chill again, you know? It would be exhausting constantly being on and like being, you know, that would be exhausting.
What's the process like for you?
At the moment, like my producer will play the beat, and then if I'm in a really calm position and like feel like I'm not forcing anything out, I'll be able to write. I like to actually write with a pen to paper or on my notes on my phone. A calm environment allows me to just write. I just need me and my engineer or my producer, and then minimal energy. I don't like a lot of physical bodies in the studio when I'm writing, and then it comes out. Yeah, it comes out.
So you
really
write at the
quickly.
studio, not at home, or you
I
do
write everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So I love like underground rappers, you know? Like here, locally, my inspirations are like, I immediately think of Jess Wah. I think of, there's many different people, but I think Nicki Minaj has always been like a top inspiration for me. Like I ended up meeting her. So like around that time, it was like she was so prevalent to my inspiration, you know, just being who she was. She had this alter ego who was this gay boy, his name was Roman, like so many different things. So she was definitely a vital inspiration to me. And then there's other sort of lesser known rappers like Queen Herbie in LA, or there's Sharaya J. You know, it's names that we haven't really heard of, but they actually are very inspirational to me.
What did Support Act do for you during lockdown?
Their grant scheme at the time was called Crisis Relief Grants for COVID. And I think they were releasing like $1,000 one-off cash grants to artists at the time. And that was extremely helpful because at that time, a lot of us are blessed being booked and having like consistent careers, you know, but during lockdown, they wiped everything and like, it was crazy. So to have consistent income, I think that just really helps with simple things like rent, or like for me, knowing that if I really get into a time that I'm struggling or like really need it, to know that Support Act, that option is there, it's quite relieving, you know, because I know that even the team at Support Act, I've met a lot of them and they're really lovely, you know, and like they have really great intentions and yeah. It's really nice to like have Support Act to be a place that's giving and not consistently all about like receiving, you know?